people have been under attack for years. It's been systematic racism. As much as Black people and people of color want to talk about systematic racism in the United States, it's quite the opposite. They get preferential treatment when it comes to getting a job, when it comes to getting into colleges. White people, on the other hand, have been getting attacked relentlessly. Look at 2016 and BLM and all the riots. We just had to sit back and watch people burn down our cities and do nothing about it. So the way to fight back against essentially this anti-white hatred that's been systemically, ingrained in U.S. society is with white unity. We don't see white unity on
But
our side.
hang on. Okay, but hang on. Sorry, just to be clear, this has got nothing to do with anything.
So this woman, I think her name is Lilly Gaddis, right? And Lilly Gaddis, I believe, was it a year ago or 2 years ago? And correct me if I'm wrong inside of the chat. Lilly Gaddis is a woman that actually went viral for using the N-word, right? Using the N-word, and I think she did it casually, or maybe she was trying to go viral, and I think she got fired from her job, and people came after her or whatever. And so now she's basically doubled down on what her thoughts are. Now, here's the interesting part. Some of what she's saying, unfortunately, is true. And I don't think that this overcorrection within culture and within society through diversity, equity, and inclusion that didn't actually help any Black people actually created an environment that was more conducive for people. I just think that it made more people angry, to be honest with you. More people got angry, and I know that it's going to be some people in the chat that can't actually comprehend what I'm communicating to them, and so they're going to get upset and they're going to get emotional about it, and they're not going to be able to watch the whole video, and they ultimately just going to react just based off of the title or whatever. They're going to start typing comments in the chat immediately as soon as this video drop or whatever. I'm not worried about that. The only thing I'm worried about is actually communicating exactly what my thoughts are. And I believe that this overcorrection has basically created an environment where Black people and white people are at odds even more than ever before, because what they've basically done is exactly what she's describing right here, is that they took down the statues, they made sure that they marched, they had the George Floyd protests, they did all of this stuff. And now what you see is a lot of white people actually starting to become even more, let me say that even again, they're becoming even more bold and coming out and saying, listen, this is what I really think. Now, on one hand, I'm like, man, that's messed up, because I don't want anybody to be racist. I don't want anybody to be biased. I don't want anybody to be prejudiced. I'm a person that actually rock with everybody. Black, white, whatever you are, I rock with you based off of the content of your character versus the color of your skin. You know what I'm saying? If you're a good person, I rock with you. If you're a bad person, I don't rock with you. It just is what it is. And a lot of people would like for me to be divisive. A lot of people would like for me to pick sides, and I don't. The side that I pick is a side that's best for me. And I am always going to rock with people just based off of the content of their character. However, now you are starting to get into an environment where people are feeling emboldened, and they saying, listen, if y'all could be overly racist as Black people towards white people, why can't white people also be vocal and be overly racist towards Black people? And this is what I think is the culmination of it. Let's get into the rest of the video, and then we're going to deep dive.
Everything you've just said. This is a disgusting
And
racist.
Piers Morgan knows what he's doing. He's bringing these people on these platforms, understanding exactly who they are already, knowing, and then baiting it for content. So, I don't trust Piers Morgan either. He's not innocent in this whole situation, but let's continue.
Woman who repeatedly spews the M-word, first at a young child and then at the person taking the video of her, does it with complete impunity, does it numerous times. We are talking about a bona fide, unquestionable racist. So I don't understand why what you've just said to me bears any relation to white unity or anything that you've just said. She's just a racist. End, isn't she? You wouldn't dispute that.
It's not about her. It's not about her. It's about
Well, it is about her.
Coming together and supporting another white person. And it doesn't matter.
Why would you want to support a white racist?
Because I want to support free speech, and you cannot have free speech in a country.
No, that's fine. You can support free speech, but you also have to be accountable.
Why is he interrupting her? Why don't you let her get her thoughts out? Because I want to see what she really feels.
I mean, would you use the N-word out of interest?
Yes.
You would?
Mm-hmm. I do quite frequently.
You use the M word quite frequently. Well, why? Other than the fact you're a despicable racist. Are you?
Some would say I am. I guess according to the ADL, I'm a white supremacist. I'm a neo-Nazi.
Yeah. Well, if you use the M word repeatedly, you are a racist, then, are you? Are you?
Sure, I'll embrace that. If that means forwarding, helping white people achieve freedom of speech, real freedom of speech, which, by the way, Shiloh Hendricks is being attacked on all fronts. They're trying to bring legal charges against her. They're trying to get her children taken away. So you were saying Carmelo Anthony, it doesn't matter. That's a different.
Sorry, but just to be
thing.
clear, you just said to me you use the N word regularly. In what context?
Right.
Do you use it with black people?
Yes, if it's appropriate.
When would it be appropriate to use the N word? When would it be appropriate?
Anytime I feel like it.
So you're.
She's standing on that shit, ain't she? Like, she really is standing on it. She not backing down. She not mincing words. She said, "Yep, I'll use it, and anytime I feel like it." And you'll be surprised how many people actually say what they really feel within their living room, and they don't actually say what they really feel publicly. I want to see what people really feel publicly so I can know how to adjust around them.
Unashamed racist.
Correct.
Well, do you understand that makes you a despicable human being?
I guess so. I don't really care. I mean, why are we not talking about Shiloh Hendricks? Why are we talking about?
Well, actually, I think you've moved it on in this debate very quickly to your own racism, which explains why you've supported her in public and why you've got all these views. You see no problem with a woman shrieking the N-word repeatedly because you yourself are a despicable racist, and you've just proudly admitted that with a smug grin on your face, which is pretty horrifying, actually, for most people to have to watch. And shame on you. You're entitled to do it, and I'm entitled to call you despicable.
Well, shame on white people for allowing themselves to be systematically discriminated against in the United States. This is our country. This is a country that should be.
What do you mean your country?
Because I'm white and my.
Well, there are no black people in American history. Is that what you're saying? That they've all just landed in America, invading your white country? Is that your position?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they were brought here technically.
My God, do you understand how dumb you sound?
This is stupid. This is stupid and racist, and at some point we have to ask ourselves, do we want to reward this kind of disgusting behavior by platforming it?
I don't disagree, Mark. Listen, I didn't know she was going to say that. I don't disagree with you.
No. Yeah. I'm with you. I don't think you knew ahead of time. I'm saying at this moment, someone who's saying technically black people brought up. No, technically Africans were stolen, enslaved, and they built this country. And the idea that you can justify calling a baby the N-word by saying that white people are losing the country is absurd. It's morally bankrupt, and it's honestly besides the point. I mean, all these are just distractions from the fact that she wants to justify dehumanizing and even animalizing a small black child. It's disgusting.
I never said that. I never said that.
No, you may as well have done because you're just an unashamed.
That's the implication of your racist.
Let me bring in.
No, you can't say it's the implication. You got to go by what she said. She stood on business. She said what she said. I don't agree with her at all, but she said what she said, and I also agree with free speech because I don't think that people should be censored because I want to say what I want to say, and I don't think that other people should be censored. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you got to support her platform, and it don't necessarily mean that you got to follow her. And that's the reality of it. That's the beauty of America, but at the same time, it's the thing that you discussed it about. And the fact that people want cancel culture is silly to me. I think that she should be able to exist in her own little silo or whatever it is that she rock with. And then you rock with whoever it is that you rock with. But I don't agree with her, but she certainly stood on business. And it just is what it is. And Mark Lamont Hill is getting mad at it, but it really doesn't matter what Mark Lamont Hill believes because she said what she said and she stood on it.
Bring in Myron Gaines because you've been smirking and laughing. What's funny about any of this?
Well, I mean, I find it interesting that you guys want to virtue signal and, wag the finger and say she's a racist and everything else like this.
No, she admits she's a racist.
Well, let me
I'm not wagging a finger at anybody.
She's self-identified as a racist.
But Myron, with respect, Myron, I don't need to wag a finger when somebody says, yeah, I'm racist. I use the N-word against black people. I don't care. That's a racist. I'm not wagging any finger. I'm not accusing anybody. She is admitting it proudly. Even you can't defend that, surely.
Why did he ask him the question if he wasn't going to let him answer?
everybody is racist to some degree. The reality is it depends on, a lot of people want to be politically correct. A lot of people want to sit there and say, I'm not racist at all. We all have biases. We all have stereotypes. We all make jokes. We all are racist to some degree. Now, how racist you are is a whole other situation, but everyone is racist. That's number one. Next thing I want to say, see, I think this Shiloh, Hendrickson, Metcalf situation is a microcosm of a much bigger problem. And that bigger problem is what I call systemic organized. And what I mean by this is for decades, we've had black people literally running around with black supremacy, committing crimes, not getting accountability for their actions, and then they blame the system for it. For example, George Floyd, criminal. Ferguson, criminals. Freddie Gray, criminal. A lot of these people are criminals, and what ends up happening is they challenge the police officer, they get into a physical altercation, things go left, they die, something happens, use of force is utilized, and then they want to cry about the result. When in reality, it's not the police killing black people, it's black people killing black people. And if you want to talk about black on white violence, black people kill white people 2 times as much. And on top of that, most of the shootings in America, a lot of the times, are white people killing, white cops killing other unarmed white men. So this whole systemic racism or police brutality or, oh, it's all so messed up, the reality is this. Black people have been able to get away with a ridiculous amount of privilege in America for a very long time. They're able to be racist with impunity. They're able to call white people crackers without being challenged back. And quite frankly, white America's had enough of it, and the chickens have come to roost. Now, look, am I saying that's awesome? Am I saying that's great? No, but for literally the better part of almost 2 decades since the Obama era, we've had to have BLM and liberalism shoved down our throats, and quite frankly, we're all tired of it.
Y'all let me know what y'all think inside of the chat. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Henley. 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to see y'all on the Millionaire Morning Show.